This is like stage 1 of making a tumbler. I have 2 bits of steel rod. This is 6mm threaded steel bar, 6mm thick. Obviously I ordered some of these off eBay. I think I've got 4 of these. Obviously they look a lot bigger in the picture on eBay than you do when you get them. And so far I have obviously used my multi-tool, and I obviously on the end here where they've just knocked the rivet flat so the pin doesn't come out, I've just gone around the edge of that with the multi-tool, and it's just rounded the end of the pin off, so obviously that ends up like this. So the steel rod is 6mm. What I've done is obviously the holes in the side were bigger than 6mm, obviously as thick as this. So what I've done is drilled the holes out with a 6mm drill bit. So obviously the steel bar will go through. Obviously it's quite loose on there. Then with the wheels I took out, obviously the hole in there was big enough for the pin, a bit looser than the pin. What I've done is I've got a 5.5mm drill and drilled through to make the holes bigger, but obviously not as big as 6mm. So this I'm screwing onto the bar, so in theory this thread of this will bite into the plastic to hold this tight on there. As you can see, I've got one on there so far. And obviously I'm holding it with a pair of pliers and putting this end in the drill so it winds itself down the bar, which is what I've got to do next. Wherever my pliers have gone, you know. Obviously I've dented the tyre a bit, but oh, just make sure it goes in that hole. I'm going to get 2 of these on here. Might have to wind that one down a bit more. So we're going to put another one on there. So we end up with 2. Obviously it should be down about that height. About like that. So we've got 2 wheels on there. And obviously I've got a 12-volt motor I want to attach to this end eventually. And as the 12-volt motor turns, obviously the wheel's turning. So for the barrel, it's just like a fabric. Still got some in there. Fabric whitener. It's obviously perfect. It's got the lid. It's got some grip on there, so I'm going to line the wheels up. So one wheel will sit on here. So one wheel will sit on the threaded bit, give it extra grip, and then the other wheel around here. And what I can always do is put some elastic bands around here, which will give this a bit of grip. So I've got some wood to try and mount it on, but till my 12-volt motor turns up, I don't know how to proceed. Should be coming tomorrow, but obviously I can put these onto the bars today to get the head. So one bar will have fixed wheels and the other bar will have free reining. Oh, I might not even need them. I can just put these onto the wood. And just have one. Obviously I only need one of these bars. I can get this one for maybe another project if this one doesn't work out too good. Or what the wheels might only, they are rubber wheels, they should give grip. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. The motor is a 12 volt motor. It is I think it's 40 revs per minute, which apparently most tumblers run at 32 revs a minute, but under load this motor will run at 32 revs per minute, so hopefully the motor will be sufficient to turn it at a speed that will actually polish the stones, polish the brass bullet cases or the coins. Obviously did I mention that obviously I did drill holes in these a bit wider? I think I did, just so the steel bars can go through. So I just need to obviously wind this other wheel onto that same bar that I've got the other one, which obviously where the motor, this motor from the drill bit is at the moment, the motor will be attached. I've got some wheel bearings as well to go both sides, and I've got some locking wheel nuts to not locking wheel nuts, locking nuts to put either side, so that these actually can't move in case the actual thread or the weight makes this wheel try to turn up or down the thread. So I'm going to put some locking nuts on here and here, so then it can't move, even though this will be secured to the wood, so it probably won't move anyway actually. I just ordered bits ready in case I change my mind on how I'm going to do it. I'm just playing it by ear really. So yeah, I'll try and show you a bit more. Once as the motor comes, I'll know how high I can mount this off the ground. Obviously the motor needs to sit there. Right, thanks for watching at the moment. On to the next bit. Also I had to get the file and file the thread off either bit here where it goes through the metal bit on the sides of the wheels, because it was feeding the rod that way or feeding the rod that way, whichever way the motor was going. Obviously I've got bearings in here, ball bearings, just to give it a bit of more support, and obviously there's a 6mm hole in there. It's a 6mm threaded bar. These are just some wheels off eBay, exactly the same, just obviously I've taken these bars off. Obviously I explained that in the previous clip. So I've added a wheel here because the barrel does go down that way, and when the barrel's on there it will turn, just holds it off and obviously turns there. Obviously I've just linked it to a battery at the moment, so obviously I wanted to get 12 volt supply or transformer, or just run it off the battery and charge the battery when I need it. Obviously I haven't really tried it yet. I can add some video in there, hopefully in a minute. I'm going to put some stuff in there and then we'll do a before and after comparison. Obviously this is the barrel. It's got a screw lid. I don't know if it's going to leak, that's the only issue, because it had powder in it, so it might leak because it's not going to be watertight. I did have, I don't know where I've put it, a juice bottle which worked really well on there, but it's getting something fixed inside. I'll just cut in there and then I'll come back in a second and show you what I mean. So this is inside the barrel. I stuck these, so obviously the coins, or well I'm going to put coins in here to clean, but as it obviously turns they just don't slide around the bottom. Obviously if they're caught up they will sit on there and then obviously then fall, then sit on there, go up, then fall, and so on. So hopefully it'll obviously give it a bit more chance to turn and actually do some stuff with this. Bottle also fits on there, fits on there nicely. The rubber bands do work. This was my first trial with a little bottle, and I stuck, I don't know if you can see it in there, some lids. It's hard to get the lids to stick in there. These two are stuck solid, but the other lids were loose. Obviously the bottle will be watertight, so I know that it won't leak, which is the advantage because it's had liquid in it. But obviously I need to get something to stick in there that's obviously going to make the coins turn over rather than just slide round the bottle, because as the bottle's turning, the coins are just sitting at the base of it and just sliding round with it, so they're not actually turning over in the bottle, and obviously getting the advantage of getting polished up a bit and all the debris taken off it. So obviously if I put the power onto that, the rubber bands work quite well on there, and it does hold it. It does well. I did put some coins in there earlier to see what it was like. Obviously I haven't put a wheel on lower down for this bottle, but it didn't seem to need it because it's got a groove on the bottle which seems to hold it in place. Where that band is there, there's a groove on the bottom and it stops it moving down. Obviously this barrel sits on the exact same, it hasn't got the lid on there at the moment, so it's not going to, lid should go on there. So obviously hoping this is going to be strong enough. This is part of a, it's not very strong plastic, but obviously we can try it and then see how it goes. Quite a basic setup, just something to do. Try and, like I said, I might put a bit of food wrap over that, then put the lid on. Might just give it that waterproof seal. So what we're going to do is put some coins in here now. I'll show you the coins in a minute, what I'm going to dig out, and then we'll put them in there. Put some, I don't know what to put in there actually. Might wash some grit and some lemon juice maybe, and put that in there. I don't know what I can have to try to put in there, but I'll have a look, see what I've got. So in there now is the coins, the grit and water. A little bit of water to keep it obviously lubricated in there. Fairy liquid and the lemon juice obviously. Don't know how well these are going to hold up. They're just super glued on the side, so they might not hold up, but then that's the whole point of making this, is so you can learn as you go on. I've got a bit of like food wrap I'm going to try and put on there before I put the lid on to try and make it a bit more waterproof. Again, till I try it I won't know whether it's going to be waterproof, this container. I haven't tried it. If not, maybe I just have to try it with drier materials in here. Some tumblers you see on for brass bullets and brass cases and stuff, they don't put, it's just dry material they do the tumbling with. Right, just going to get this sealed up and then we'll go from there. So here's the two tumblers I've made, prototypes really. So obviously as you can see, it's not secured properly, it's held by a cable tie to the motor at the moment, so I was just seeing which one works better. So obviously this bottle works quite well on there. I did try gluing Coke and Dr Pepper lids inside, but as you can see, a lot of them have come off as I've had it running. So obviously this principle of this one is this motor sits in here, and then obviously the black part clamps onto this, which obviously turns the wheels. When the bottle's on there, the wheels turn, the rubber bands grip the wheels, and obviously turn the bottle. So I've put some tape around them, and double-sided tape, and stuck some sandpaper on them to give them some extra grip. I did obviously have this container on here to start with, and when I filled this up with stones, or the fine grit and some stuff I wanted to clean, it was too heavy I think to grip onto these wheels. It would turn for so long and then it would start sliding. That's why I put the sandpaper on there. I thought it might grip, but it didn't really help it, so that's why I changed it. This one worked perfectly on there with that motor clamped onto there. Whether it's because the weight's spread over a lot of different places, or it's the rubber bands make it grip better. So I decided to make another one. So I used the container I had on this one and reused it. I put a 6mm bolt through here, got some washers the other side and a washer this side, and a threaded bolt nut so it can't come undone. The only downside from this is the lid is permanently attached. Unless you unscrew that every time to take the whole thing off, or you got to, I've been standing it up like that, and then obviously with the other hand just undoing the container off it, so none of the liquid leaks out. Obviously, like I said, it's only a temporary fix at the moment because I didn't know which one. I've only got one motor. So this is, again, I'll just tell you again about the motor. It's a 12 volt motor running from a car battery with some crocodile clips at the moment, and it's got a unit on the end here which makes it go to, excuse me dog, get out of the way, makes it go down to 40 revs per minute, which obviously is enough to turn the tumbler. I did do some research to find out how much normal tumblers have on the under load. So full under loads, it comes out about 32 revs per minute, I think, this little motor. Seems to be doing alright, can cope with this. Again, I've got some more of the same wheels, these same wheels. There's another 4 under here, as you can see, just screwed into the wood either side. Obviously I've just cable tied the motor on there because I was going to see which one worked best, and then I think I might stick to this one at the moment. I've still got this, obviously I won't chuck it away or anything, but I can still put this straight onto here, or buy another motor and put it back into there. Like I said, this worked alright, turning with this small bottle and the grit in there, but this one did a lot heavier weights and stuff, and I've put some fins inside that container. Let's see if I can undo it quickly. No, I can't. So inside I have glued some fins across. You may have seen it in an earlier clip when I show you, or in a later clip actually, where I've done some demo of the coins that are cleaning before and after. I showed you a shot inside the container with the grit I've got in there. So again, this is not done professionally at all, it's just testing and seeing what works best and trialing to see how the coins came out. Because obviously these tumblers are quite expensive to buy. If you're talking, you can get probably cheap Chinese ones for about 50-60 pounds, but they don't look very strong. And if you want a nice one, you're talking £100 or more probably. And think I spent £7 on the motor. The wheels were about £5. This rod was £2. These clamps I think were like 50p each. That's a bit of old pipe I had in my shed. That bolt is a bit of bolt I had in my shed as well. And the wood is just scrap wood from down the garden. That's why it's all bits of different wood. So just an idea to people that like this sort of thing, doing a bit of DIY, doing a bit of making stuff. If you like, subscribe, have any comments, please comment below. If you have any, please share. And thanks for watching. Right, we're just going to see whether the new design of tumbler does any good cleaning these. Some old pound coins there. It's a bit of a horse brass, really tacky and dirty. Some 2p's, £2 coin, half a p. This is a foreign coin which I found on the beach. I think it's from Greece, I think it is, before they had the euro. See some coins here really caked in sand and green stuff, so it might not come up much better. Sort of a semi-clean 1p, old 1 penny. So obviously in here I've just got some grit. In the tumbler I've got some grit, some fairy liquid, and I've just put a little bit of lemon juice in there as well. And we'll put it on for about an hour and see where it goes. And then I'll show you the difference. Also I'm going to put this, I think it's 20mm shell in. It's obviously solid brass. So it weighs quite a bit, so I don't know how well it would do in there. Hopefully it doesn't break it, because it's only like a trial thing at the moment. See if it polishes up in at all. Right, I'll show you at the end. So this is after they've been in the tumbler about an hour. Obviously £2 come up lovely. 2 peas have come up okay. Obviously these were really encrusted. Didn't really make much difference, but again, this is the foreign coin. Pound coins. Again, some have been in the sea so long they've been eaten away. So was it worth putting them in there? Probably. Clean this one up nice, this penny, I found that today. Right, just a little comparison. That was in there for an hour. It has got some, just like some grit, fine grit. Put a bit of lemon juice and fairy liquid in there. I don't know what you're supposed to put in there, but that's what I tried today. Someone else just said fairy liquid, but it was a bit dry, so I put some lemon juice. Sorry, someone's just said originally. I expect someone else uses them. Right, little demo or practice run complete.